Have you ever wondered how vapes are made? It's actually an interesting process that happens in big factories where all kinds of machines and people work together to create these little devices. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire journey of how vapes are made, step by step, in the simplest way possible. The idea comes first. Every vape starts with an idea. So someone needs to dream up how the vape will look, feel, and work. This is where the designers come in. They sit down with a blank canvas and ask themselves some important questions. Should the vape be small enough to fit in the pocket, or should it be bigger, with a longer battery life? They also think about the colors and overall style. Should it be sleek and shiny, or bright and fun? Of course, people want their vapes to look good, so the design has to stand out. Once the designers have a clear idea, they sketch it out using computer programs to create detailed plans. These programs let them see every tiny part of the vape, from the battery inside to the mouthpiece on top. They even check how all the parts will fit together. The designers also think about how easy the vape will be to use, because nobody wants a device that's tricky or uncomfortable. After finalizing the design, they share it with the engineers and factory teams, who start figuring out how to bring the idea to life. Mixing the e-liquid, the secret sauce. Once the vape design is ready, the factory gets to work on the e-liquid, which is what creates the vapor people inhale. Making this liquid isn't as simple as mixing water and juice. It's more like baking a cake, where every ingredient needs to be measured just right. Factories use giant mixing tanks to combine the main ingredients, which include vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, nicotine, and flavorings. Vegetable glycerin makes the vapor thick and smooth, while propylene glycol helps carry the flavor. The nicotine gives the vape its kick, and the flavorings are what makes it fun. Imagine tasting something fruity like mango or minty like peppermint. Some flavors even mimic desserts, like vanilla custard or chocolate. These ingredients must be mixed perfectly, so the flavor and nicotine are even in every drop. Keep in mind that safety and quality are very important here. Workers wear gloves and masks while handling the ingredients to keep everything clean, while the machines stir the liquid for hours to make sure it's smooth and free of lumps or bubbles. If anything seems off, the batch gets tossed out, because nobody wants e-liquid that tastes bad or feels harsh. And once the liquid is ready, it's tested for quality before moving on. Bottling the e-liquid. After the e-liquid is mixed and approved, it's time to bottle it up. Factories have special machines that make this process fast and precise. Picture rows of tiny bottles lined up neatly on a conveyor belt. As the bottles move along, the machines fill each one with the same exact amount of liquid. It happens so quickly that you'd have to watch closely to see the liquid being squirted in. The bottles are designed to be easy to use. Many come with a small nozzle or dropper at the top, so people can pour the liquid into their vape devices without making a mess. Once filled, the bottles are sealed tightly. This step is also important because no one wants a leaky bottle in their pocket or bag. Now it's up to the workers to keep a close eye on this process. If a bottle isn't filled right or doesn't seal properly, it gets pulled off the line and fixed. After all, the factory wants every bottle to be perfect before it reaches customers. And when everything is checked and good to go, the bottles move on to the next stage, where they'll get their labels. Adding the labels. Now it's time to add labels to the bottles. Labels are more than just stickers. They'll tell people what's inside and give important details, like the flavor name and the amount of nicotine. Some labels also have warnings like "this product is not for kids" or "handle with care." These labels are important because they help keep people safe and informed. The labeling process uses special machines that are fast and precise. As the bottles move along another conveyor belt, the machine sticks a label on each one. The labels have to go on straight and smooth without any wrinkles. If a label looks messy, the bottle gets pulled out and fixed. Sometimes the labels are designed to look really cool. They might have bright colors, fun graphics, or shiny details to grab attention. Once all the bottles are labeled, workers give them one last check, and if everything looks good, the bottles are ready to move on to the packaging stage. The labels not only make the bottles look nice, but also provide important information for customers to understand what they're buying. Building the vape device. While the e-liquid is getting bottled in one part of the factory, another team is busy building the vape devices. These devices might look simple on the outside, but inside, they're made of many tiny parts that need to fit together just right. The main parts include the battery, the coil, a small tank for holding the e-liquid, and a mouthpiece where the vapor comes out. Each of these parts has an important job. The battery powers the device, the coil heats up and turns the liquid into vapor, the tank stores the liquid, and the mouthpiece makes it easy to inhale the vapor. Assembling these parts takes both machines and people. Machines are great for putting together the really small parts quickly and accurately. However, humans are needed to double-check everything. Workers carefully inspect the devices to make sure the parts are in the right places. They also test how securely everything is attached. If something doesn't look or work perfectly, the device is fixed or sent back for reassembly. This attention to detail ensures the vape devices are safe, reliable, and ready for use. Of course, building these tiny gadgets may seem complicated, but it's all about teamwork and precision. Testing for quality. After the vape devices are assembled, it's time for quality testing. This step is like a big checkup to make sure everything is safe and works the way it should. Factories have special teams dedicated to this task, and they don't skip any details. First, they check the e-liquid. They look to see if it's clear and free of any unwanted particles. They also test the nicotine levels to ensure it's not too weak or too strong. Each batch of e-liquid has to taste right, smell good, and meet safety standards before it's approved. The vape devices go through their own tests too. Workers turn them on to see if the battery works properly. They also test the coil to make sure it heats up evenly. If the coil doesn't heat up correctly, the device won't create vapor, so this step is super important. Sometimes testers use machines to simulate how the vape will be used in real life. This helps them spot problems that might not show up during regular inspections. And if a device or e-liquid fails any part of these tests, it gets sent back for repairs or adjustments. Only the best and safest products make it past this stage. Packing it all up. Once the vapes and e-liquids pass all their tests, they are finally ready to be packed. This is the last step before they leave the factory and head to stores or customers. Packing might sound simple, but it's a big job. Workers carefully place each vape device and bottle of e-liquid into a box. They make sure everything fits snugly so nothing gets damaged during shipping. The boxes are then sealed tightly to keep the products fresh and secure. Many factories add extra effort to make their packaging look attractive. They might use bright colors, cool designs, or the brand's logo to catch people's eyes. Some boxes even have instructions or warnings printed on them, so customers know how to use the product safely. Once the boxes are packed, they are labeled with shipping details. From there, they're loaded onto trucks, ships, or planes to be delivered. It's amazing to think that these tiny products travel such long distances to reach people all over the world. Packing might be the final step in the factory, but it's just the beginning of the vape's journey to its new owner. What's inside the e-liquid? E-liquid, also called vape juice, is one of the most important parts of a vape. Without it, there wouldn't be any vapor. The main ingredients are the vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. These are clear liquids that help make the thick, fluffy clouds of vapor people enjoy. Vegetable glycerin gives the vapor a smooth feel, while propylene glycol helps carry the flavor. Speaking of flavor, factories add all kinds of taste options to the e-liquid, from fruity and minty to dessert-like flavors. Nicotine is another key ingredient in many e-liquids. Some people use vapes because they like the nicotine, but it's important for factories to measure it carefully. Too much nicotine can make the e-liquid too strong, and too little can leave users unsatisfied. Factories also work hard to make sure no harmful chemicals like acetone or acrolein end up in the e-liquid. They test each batch to ensure it's clean and safe. This is why high-quality e-liquids are smoother and taste better. The process of making e-liquid might seem simple, but a lot of science and care go into getting it just right. Shipping to the world. Once everything is packed and ready, the journey begins. The packed boxes filled with vapes and e-liquids are carefully loaded onto trucks. These trucks are like the first step in the relay race, taking the products from the factory to large distribution centers. These centers are busy places where workers sort and organize the packages based on their destinations. Some of the packages will travel across the country, while others will make their way to other parts of the world. For international orders, the boxes often move to airports or shipping docks, where planes and cargo ships take over. Planes are faster, but usually more expensive, so they are used for urgent deliveries or smaller batches. Ships, on the other hand, are slower but can carry massive amounts of goods at once. Imagine giant containers packed with vapes and juice stacked high on a ship, traveling across the ocean. Once the packages arrive in the destination country, they go through customs to ensure everything is legal and safe. After that, local delivery trucks or couriers take over to bring the products to stores or directly to people's homes. And by the time the vapes arrive, they are fresh, intact, and ready for people to enjoy. Why quality matters. Factories spend so much time testing and checking because the quality of a vape is of high importance. Imagine buying a vape and finding out the battery doesn't work. Or what if the e-liquid tastes bad because it wasn't mixed right? That's why factories are so careful about everything, from the design to the packaging. High-quality vapes not only work better, but are also safer to use. Nobody wants a vape that breaks or leaks, so factories make sure their products meet high standards before they leave the factory. So now you know how vapes are made in factories. From designing the device to mixing the e-liquid and testing, it's a long and careful process. And it's fascinating to see how something so small takes so much work to create. Now, if you want to learn more about how your favorite things are made, subscribe to see how things are made in motion and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a thing.